Hi, my Surface Standard, and today we're going to be going over a kit I easily could do way better, but this is my Navy SEALs impression. Now, of course, I don't have a lot of the very specific, like, SEALs things. There was a lot of things they had that I'll go over that were very specific to the SEALs. Like, they had modified Erdl jackets with all these pockets. Like, on the back, they had pockets for canteens. They had ammo pouches that they sewn into the backs, and on the front they had vests made of ERDL jackets with just ammo pockets and all that. They had their life vest, which I do not have. Of course, the stoner. I do not have a stoner. That would be way too much money, even for an airsoft one. That's a lot. But yeah, so there's a lot of things that are really specific to the SEALs. They also have some, like, unique bags and stuff like that. And of course, I don't have that because I don't have that kind of money, and I don't know where to find a lot of these things. So, but yeah, I do have enough stuff to show off a technically period correct SEALs impression, besides the jeans, of course. But everything else is how a SEAL could have looked. There's equipment, and I'll get into that. But yeah, like I said, easily could be better. Like, I don't have all the pocket litter and all that for like a SEAL, but I mainly am doing this just because I had a friend suggest that he wanted to do this, or not, he wanted me to do this, and I was like, wait, I think I have the stuff that I could do SEALs. So yeah, anyways, let's get into it. So, quick history on the SEALs. The SEALs were originally founded in 1963. They started seeing a lot more action, of course, 1965 and throughout the war. They mainly did a lot of quick in and out missions. So unlike other special forces like SOG, who would go into the jungle for extended periods of time, they were just very in and out, and that is reflected in their equipment, like the lack of a rucksack, although they did wear some sometimes, and their equipment being quite light, like only one canteen. And again, we'll get into that. Of course, when we think of special forces in the modern day, we think of SEALs mainly, and Vietnam is kind of the birth of our modern idea of special forces. Now, special forces really began in World War II, of course, British SAS, and some other special, more elite units that the U.S. had during the time. But Vietnam is where we really get the idea of the modern special forces unit. So, let's get into the equipment. So, of course, we have a ERDL jacket. The SEALs extensively use these. This is my original ERDL jacket. I think this is 69 dated? 68 dated, that's right. But yeah, love this. Love the jacket. I do have a full set, of course, but, and the jeans I'm just having because, of course, you have to have jeans for SEALs, but not all of them wore them. In fact, from a lot of the photos I've seen, depending on the squad or unit, most of them didn't. A lot of them wore full Erdl sets. Some of them early in the war just wore OD green fatigues, and then a lot of times you see them earlier war as well wearing the tiger stripe uniforms, which is really interesting. We have blue jeans. These are modern blue jeans. I don't have period correct Levi blue jeans because I'm not spending the money to get them, and they look pretty much the exact same, and they even from up close they look pretty dang accurate. 3rd pound jungle boots, which is still what they would have worn. These are my reproductions from wars. They look really nice and good because I polish them, because I take care of them. I might probably eventually get originals because these are starting to wear out, and the company that makes these is no more. They don't make these boots anymore, which really sucks. But I'm happy with these, and honestly, I do want narrows. These are wides, and they only sold them in wides, so yeah. We have some reproduction USGI socks. One thing that's really cool that I have, I will not use it, but I will use my modern version of it for the show off. But this is face paint. This is Vietnam face paint. I don't know if this one itself is actually Vietnam dated. This might be more modern, but it's the exact same can and container that they would have used, and it still has the face paint inside of it. So, yeah. Yeah, this might be a more modern, but it's the same design, so I don't know if that side was gonna open, but yeah, so this is really cool. My Wars USGI watch, I don't think honestly is the best, most accurate one. We also see a lot of personal watches, which you do in Vietnam in general. We have a green t-shirt. We have my do-rag once again. Their headwear is interesting because there's a training video I've watched where they're like in full kit and stuff. They have ERDL, full ERDL. Some of them have ERDL berets, and the rest have these early war duck hunter boonies. It's so weird. But there's those. Of course, just wearing it as like an actual bandana I've also seen, but I like the do-rag look. Plus, I mean, I've seen that a good amount. The ERDL beret is really interesting. It's kind of a little interesting little thing that they wear a lot. Green boonies, tiger stripe boonies, you see a lot as well. I think there might be some. I haven't seen many ERDL boonies, to be honest, but I think I've seen a couple of videos of them. But most of them are going to be these tiger stripe boonies, or the berets, or most of the time they're these triangle bandages, pieces of black scarf. I mean, they had so much. Another thing is some of the units also had like scarves, like of the parachute material. I'm not representing that just because I don't know if that, I know it's probably more of a specific squad or specific unit thing, as there was, of course, different SEAL teams. Kind of like there was different recon teams. This is a very general SEAL impression, so I'm not representing that. But you also see scarves out of, I think, the triangle bandage and some other stuff too. The equipment is interesting. It's kind of like a mix on the standard loadout. Of course, with them not being in country for very long, you know, it's very in and out. But you know, going into battle, they're not going to do on the recon missions. They're not going to be there for very long. So we only have one canteen, which is really interesting. You see a lot of them with only one canteen. Early in the war, they do kind of just run a standard loadout plus the JFAC, but later in the war, you get some really crazy loadouts. It's never standardized by 70. Pretty much everyone just has their own loadout, whatever works for them, whatever they're running. I tried to base off of ones that I've seen from people who have M16s, or just, you know, that general kind of look. So we have my first pattern belts. We have 2 ammo pouches connected to them. Suspenders are kind of an interesting thing. Early war and like mid-war, and even by 69, I think you still see them. 70, there's one video I have from 70 where none of them have suspenders. So I'm guessing like a lot of other army units, late war, they ditched them. But I'm keeping them just because I like them and I've seen them. Another interesting thing I've seen a lot, and I'll put up photos for all these things, but I've seen the JFAC get put up here, and I know it's probably connected to something else, probably the Life Vest or some other, or that Life Inflatable or some other thing that they're wearing. It's really interesting. You also see a lot of SEALs, especially at war, have like first aid pouches connected here. Smoke grenades are attached to wherever. They got a lot of smoke grenades on them, and they just have some crazy loadouts. It's really cool. I'm just representing kind of a more early and basic loadout. So we have suspenders, my first aid pouch, grenades. I do have a grenade on the belt, which probably wouldn't make sense since I could just put on the other attachments. But you do see a lot of grenades on belts, especially for people who don't have ammo pouches. And I've even seen them with guys who have ammo pouches. So I mean, of course, we have the JFAC, which is actually a almost complete JFAC as well for Vietnam. This one is 67 dated, as you can see here. And then inside, it's got almost everything correct. We got bug repellent, we got bandages, modern chipstick, and just a random bottle. It is missing a good amount of stuff, but it came with a good amount of period correct stuff, so I'm very happy with it. But yeah, and then we have a second pattern canteen cover with a M61 canteen in there. Now, the weapon of choice, of course, for the majority of SEALs, especially by late war, is going to be the Stoner M63. Or Stoner 63, which is a really cool gun, as it is interchangeable from a machine gun to an assault rifle. It is pretty much strictly for the SEALs. I don't know if there's really any other unit that actually use them. I could be wrong on that. And of course, originals are practically impossible, and there are some reproductions out there, but they're very, very, very expensive. And of course, there's always the airsoft option, which is cheaper, but I don't want to spend that money just for this video, and I'm probably never going to do SEALs ever again. So I found there no point. So of course, I'm just using my beautiful M16A1 from H&R with original furniture on it. The 20 mag is technically correct. I do have a lot of photos and some videos of 20 rounders. Of course, by late war, 69, 70 especially, and in the 70s, they're going to have 30 rounders. And another thing you'll see would be like a AK chest rig to hold the 30 rounders, which units like SOG also did. But again, I'm kind of trying to represent like 68, 69 really is what I'm kind of trying to get at. The equipment set would probably be a little more standardized than 68, but again, of course, I'm not an expert on this. I have very limited knowledge on seals. I thought this would be cool to show off, and I do know a good amount about the history, and I think it's a cool impression. And of course, I have a buddy that asked for me to do this, and I happily obliged to show it off. So yeah, anyways, let's go see what this looks like on me. And here's what it looks like on me. I was originally planning to paint my face because I do actually have modern face paint that would work. I decided against it because I have to go eat dinner tonight. And it's not, it would wash off, yeah, but like, I don't have the time to do it, sadly. But just know I usually would. I will probably post a short next weekend with the face paint just to show it off because I know I have it and I know people want to see it. So I'll do that. I think that'd be fun. But yeah, so be prepared for that. It's probably not gonna look that good. Just gonna let you know because I'm not that good with the face paint stuff. But yeah. One thing I did forget to mention is I believe they had their own special version uh, or muzzle flash for the M16 because stuff on my M16. Because I'll show you the photos. Like it's this weird it's like the bird cage, but it's a whole it's just completely covers the thing. There's no slits in it, which is really interesting. So I don't know what that is. I mean, I know what it is, but like I don't know like what it is. Um, and I don't have one obviously. But early war, you still see you do see the bird cage on the M16 run. So I'll do a quick turnaround, see everything. But yeah. Oh, I did forget to mention I have a bayonet with me. I got rid of the Bowie knife for this video. I do have some photos of them with the bayonets. I've also seen them with the bayonet put it through the suspender loop. But mainly what I've seen instead of the bayonet is actually the M3 fighting knife from World War II. If it's not the M3, it's I don't know if the Navy had its own version. I know the Navy had its own fighting knife in World War II, but it looks like the M3 fighting knife. It could be a Navy variant. I'm not too keen on Navy knives, but that's also really interesting. I believe it's the M3. It looks like the M3 to me, which is really fascinating how a lot of them have the M3. I've also seen a personal knife in one photo, but most of the times it's going to be a bayonet or an M3. Um, but yeah, so this is the kit. Um, and yeah. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.